With an 8-core processor, 32GB of RAM and AMD Radeon Graphics, the Beelink SER4 is the fastest mini PC that we have tested on the channel. In the box is the mini PC weighing 490 grams. It is 12.6 centimeters wide, 11.3 centimeters deep and 4.1 centimeters tall. There are two HDMI cables with 25 and 100 centimeters length. We have a 57 watt power supply with 19 volts and 3 amps. We have a VESA mount to install a mini PC on the back of a monitor and some screws to install a 2.5-inch SATA drive. And we get a user manual. We have an AMD Ryzen 7 4800U processor with 8 cores and 16 threads, 32GB of DDR4 memory running at 3200 MHz and 512 GB of NVMe storage. At the front, here you can reset your BIOS. We have two USB 3 ports, a USB-C port, which carries display up to 4K 60Hz, a headphone port. This one is TRS for headsets or headphones, and here is a power button with a power LED. At the back, we have Gigabit Ethernet, a USB 3 and a USB 2 port, two HDMI 2.0. They both do 4K 60, and here goes the power supply. Inside the machine, we can see two 16GB modules from Crucial in dual channel configuration. This boosts the performance compared to using a single memory module. Especially in games, you will see much better graphics performance. Storage is from Intel, from the 660p series. Running Crystal Disk Mark, we can see decent reading performance, but writing is a little bit on the slower side. And you can upgrade the storage by installing a 2.5-inch SATA drive. When you turn on the computer, press Delete to enter the BIOS, press F7 to change the boot options. It comes with Windows 11 Pro. I ran all the Windows updates, then I installed the latest AMD chipset and graphics drivers. And now let's have a look at the performance of this machine. In Cinebench R15, 1356 for the multi-threaded and 188 for the single-threaded test. These are the best results of any mini PC that we've tested on this channel. In R20, we're getting 3262 for the multi-threaded and 461 for the single-threaded test. And in Cinebench R23, 8380 for the multi-threaded and 1252 for the single-threaded test. Running Cinebench on a single core, we can see a clock speed of 4.3 GHz, which is really good to see. It means that single-threaded applications will perform extremely well on this machine. After 10 minutes of testing, I saw temperatures reaching mid-70s. Running Cinebench on all cores, we can see the frequency is around 2.8 GHz. This is a little bit lower than what I was hoping to see, but overall, when it comes to multi-threaded performance with 8 cores, this mini PC is really fast. Again, it's by far the best one I've tested. Using a power meter, the power consumption at the wall was 35 watts in games and when heavily stressing the processor. You can definitely hear the cooling fan, especially when playing games or when running the CPU with heavy tasks, but it is no better or no worse than the other mini PCs that we looked at in the past. Thanks to AMD Radeon Graphics with 8 cores and a clock speed of up to 1750 MHz, the graphics performance is also excellent. In CloudGate, 21723, in Night Raid, 14617, in Skydiver, 12,994, in Firestrike 3,599, and in TimeSpy 1,416. Dirt 3, one of my favorite racing games. 1080p with ultra details and we're getting almost 60 FPS. This is much better than what I've seen with other mini PCs. In Strange Brigade with the Vulkan API, we can get around 60 FPS at 720p. And around 30 FPS at 1080p. This is with the low detail setting. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is next. This is quite a demanding game. We are running at 720p with the lowest details and we are still getting around 60 FPS, which is really impressive. Older games also run perfectly fine. This is Half-Life 2 running at 1080p with 4x anti-aliasing and 16x anisotropic filtering, and it runs with well over 60 FPS. But does it run Crysis? Yes, it does. At 1080p with high details, Crysis is very playable. The machine has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi 6E. Unfortunately, the wireless performance was disappointing. We're getting just under 40 megabytes per second. I use China's fastest Wi-Fi router, the Xiaomi AX6000, and on my desktop, right next to where the mini PC was sitting, I'm getting around 140 megabytes per second. So Beelink went with a wireless adapter from MediaLink. I think they should have stuck with one from Intel. In terms of price, you're looking at $749 from Amazon. I will put a link down below in the description. So guys, the performance is really impressive. Single-threaded performance is fantastic with a clock speed of 4.3 gigahertz, and multi-threaded tasks with 8 cores is also not an issue. Heaps of RAM, 32 gigabytes in dual channel configuration, and it's fast DDR4 memory running at 3.2 gigahertz. We're getting fast storage, 3 video outputs that can drive 4K 60 displays. The only negative is really the wireless. I hope that in the future Beelink sticks with the Intel Wi-Fi adapters, but apart from that, I really couldn't see any weaknesses. Performance is top notch, and yeah, in the end of the day, you have to decide for yourself if this machine is good value to you. So guys, there you have it. That was the video review on the Beelink SER4. Leave your thoughts and impressions down below in the comments. And as always, give it a thumbs up if you found it interesting. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I look forward to seeing you in another video.